Hello guys, welcome to your first introductory class to the Oyasync ERP software. My name is Temitope and I'll be taking you through the Oyasync software. So in today's class, we'll be looking at three major areas. We'll be covering three major areas, namely, we need to first of all understand what the ERP software does. Then we need to also understand the different meaning of concepts of an ERP and the meaning of an ERP itself. Then we'll look at the different models that we have available on the ERP. So without any further ado, we'll just be taking us through the general understanding of what an ERP does. So every business has different things they do. Some of the basic things that every business does is they will need to record or do accounts for the different sales activities they have, the different purchase activities they have. They also need to account for taxes. They will need to pay their employees, have a list of all the employees that they have in the organization. They'll need to perform different taxes, as in tax, assign an employee a tax to do on the system or to perform an operation. And they will also have different goods to deliver to different persons. They will also need to communicate with their customers. They will need to have a very good database for both their customers and their suppliers. Now, how does an ERP come in? Now, an ERP enables a business to manage all these things I've just mentioned and even more. So what I'm saying is, as you buy, as you sell, the ERP software helps you to do the accounting, the basic accounting for your purchases, your sales. It helps you do your taxation. It enables you to assign tax to different persons on the system. It enables you to deliver goods when you've taken orders. It enables you to have a database for your customers and your suppliers more. It enables you to be able to run manufacturing, etc. So all these things, you have everything in one place. So you have one tool managing all the resources of your organization. And the good thing about it is it's cloud-based, and what that means is as long as you have access to the internet, you can always perform any task you want to perform on the ERP, and you can always check whatever information you want to check on the ERP. So the ERP software is a modern tool that is very, very important for any business. So because of you have all your resources on one platform, it aids decision making. So you can make your decision much more faster because you have all the records of your sales, you have the records of your purchases, your manufacturing, you know all your, so you have all the information you need on the go. So now that we understand how and the place of an ERP in every business today, the next thing we'll be looking at is we'll be looking at some concepts of the ERP and what an ERP itself is. So ERP. So ERP is actually an acronym for Enterprise Resource Planning. So it's a tool that helps an organization or an enterprise, as it means, to be able to manage its resources, to be able to plan better and manage its resources in a manner that leads to sustainable growth and development. So that is what an ERP is. And as I said earlier, an ERP is a modern tool. So when you use the ERP, there are a lot of things that you would see on the system. So we'll just be covering some, we'll just be covering few concepts of the ERP. Now, some of the concepts that we have on the ERP is, you first of all need to know what a company is called. Now, We'll have a lot of follow-up videos that would explain most of these things in depth. But I'll just be using the general interface to explain some of the concepts that we have. Now, we have what we call a company. On the ERP software, you can have multiple companies. And as you can see, I can search for companies on my search bar and it brings it out. Now, what is a company? Now, a company is, yes, fine, yes. A company is a business for which account is being kept. So a company is a separate legal entity that has the right to trade. It has the right to render services. It's your business. So you can have multiple companies on the ERP and you can always account for the different companies. There are different selling activities, there are different buying activities and the likes. So a company is on the ERP is a representation of that company that you've registered, and that is what you have on the system. So you have other concepts like a customer, a supplier. Now we can see here that we have a customer. We can also see here that we have a supplier. Now, a customer and a supplier, customer is people that patronize your business, and suppliers are people that render you, that supply you with your basic raw materials that you use in running your business. So those are very basic concepts that we need to be aware of. Another thing is accounts. When we hear accounts, what comes to mind? So our accounts is basically our financials. These are things that help us to manage the different as we perform different activities. All these activities funnel into something that has to do with financials. So you have, as you run your purchases, as you run your sales, all these things funnel down into some form of financials. So when you get accounts on the ERP, what it means is you are looking at the final results of when you make sales and when you make purchases. So there are different tools that fall under the account. So the account is your financial. And you can see on the ERP, your account is actually your accounting. So these are all the tools that help you manage your account. So your account is basically most of all these things you see here, and basically majorly what you use in setting up your account is your chart of accounts. And your chart of accounts, as you can see, in subsequent classes, all these things will be explained in greater depths. So the next thing we're looking at is looking at what's a warehouse. Now, a warehouse on the system is a virtual warehouse. It's a virtual representation of your actual warehouse. So every business will have, especially when you have some form of inventory, you have where you store your goods and your services. Now, the system enables you to have multiple warehouses. Now, these are virtual warehouses, and what that means is it is a virtual representation of the warehouses you actually have. Now, you can have as many warehouses as possible. So what that means is as you buy things and they go into your warehouse, on the system, you have all these things captured in that warehouse. And the implication is you can always keep track of how inventory is being used in your business. As goods come in, you see them on your virtual warehouse. And as these goods are being sold, you see them on your virtual warehouse. As these goods are being transferred from one warehouse to another, you see them on your warehouse also. Now, another thing that we need to take into consideration is what do we call items? So items are actually in two legs. You can have them as raw, your raw materials, your semi-raw materials or semi-processed goods, and your finished goods. But in simple terms, your items are your inventory items. So these are virtual representation of all the things that you as a business, you buy for the sake of selling, or services that you render to your customers. So that is what an item is called. Then we'll just be looking at one more, a couple of just like maybe like one or two more. So we have what we call cost center. A cost center, you use cost center in segmenting your business. So what do I mean? You might have different segments of your business that you want to track individually. So for example, you can have a restaurant. Now, that restaurant might have two business segments. It might have the local delicacy and it might have the foreign delicacy. And you want to see the performance of these two different segments. They are still part of the company. They form the company, but there are two different segments in the business that you want to be able to track their performances. So you use cost centers in managing business segments of a company. Now, you can always have different cost centers. You have your cost center tree, and you can have as many cost centers as you want. And what is going to happen is, in subsequent videos, you would be exposed to how to use all these things in managing your business. Now, the last aspect of this introductory video to the Oyasync software is we'll be covering the different models. I'll be taking you through the different models that you have available on the ERP. Now, as I mentioned earlier, the ERP is a very robust tool that helps you in managing almost all your business, managing all your business activities. Now, as I said, you can see we have our customer, we have our supplier, and we have our item. Now, the ERP software enables you to have a database for your customers and your suppliers. But we'll be going into the different models that we have available on the ERP. Now, we have our models on our left-hand side of our ERP software interface. And we'll be going through them one after the other. So the first one we'll be looking at is our accounting. Now, what does our accounting model help us to do? Our accounting model helps us to manage the financials of our business. So as I said earlier, as we buy and as we sell, all these things, they translate into some form of financial reports. Now, on our accounting interface, you will see things like the chart of accounts, you see things like sales invoice, purchase invoice, accounts receivables. Now, accounts receivables means monies that you have. So these are your debtors. So as you sell to people on credit, as you sell to people on credit, all the people that owe you money, you would find them under your account receivables. You will see things like journal entries. So as you want to manage your accounting ledgers, you can open your journal entry and you can post directly to different ledgers. You will see things like your trial balance. This is actually a report. You will see things like accounts payables. So your accounts payables is actually your creditors account. So what that means is your accounts payables. What that means is, as you buy goods from suppliers on credit, you see all the suppliers that you are owing under your accounts payables. Now you have your different financial reports. You have your P&L. This shows the profitability of your business. You have your cash flow, and you also have your balance sheet. You also have a consolidated financial statement. All these are useful financial reports that shows you different aspects of the business. If you want to see the profitability of the business, you want to see the position of your business, you want to look at your assets, your liabilities, and the likes. All these are useful financial reports that shows you the financial well-being of your business. You have so many useful tools here that help you in managing your business. Taxes, you have your budget, name it, whatever, you have everything here under your accounting module. Now, another module that we're looking at is our asset module. Now, what does our asset module do? Our asset module helps us in managing our fixed assets. So what this means is, as you buy assets, you can always have them on the system. So what that means is, these assets, you have a fixed asset register. So I can at any point in time tell you, oh, these are all the assets I have in my business. This is what it is worth. And the system will be helping you to periodically depreciate these items. So at any point in time, you know the cost and you know the accumulated depreciation on those items, and you know the carrying amount or the net book value of your assets. So this assets model helps you in managing your fixed asset model. So aside from that, you can always carry out maintenance on your assets with this module. So you can always have a maintenance, a preventive maintenance setup on your asset module. So what that means is, it prompts you to carry out maintenance on your asset at any given time. You can always carry out maintenance on or repairs on your asset also, and you can have a record on the system. So that enables anybody that is working with that asset to have a very good history of what has been done on that asset. So peradventure, maybe somebody has been helping you to service your vehicle and has done repairs on those vehicles, and the person probably maybe lives in the future, or the employee that was involved in this. You still have all the records there, and when you get a technician in the future, the technician is not lost, and the technician can still always come and continue maintaining that asset because he has a very, very good history about those fixed assets. Now, another module that I'll be looking at is our buying module. Now, what does our buying module do? So, yeah, you can see some things like items, you can see things like material requests, you can see things like purchase order. Now, what is a purchase? So what your buying does is, it helps you to initiate the buying process for purchases of your organization. So as I said, your material requests, as your raw materials are going low, different persons that use these materials can always create a material request. Now, this material request would be sent to the right person that is meant to approve this material request. And if you have this item available in one warehouse, it is just easily transferred to the person that needs it. Also, you have tools like your purchase order. Your purchase order enables you to be able to say, okay, fine, these are the things that we need in the organization. And it can go through an approval trail, or it can go to an approval trail for authorization for the business to be able to purchase it. So a purchase order is just like, oh, somebody needs permission to be able to do what, or person needs requisition of some certain items. So once those purchase orders are approved, subsequent purchases can be made. Now, under the buying tools, there are so many tools that you can see here, and they are useful. So your buying model helps you in basically mastering or managing your buying process for your business. Now, you also have your CRM. Now, what does your CRM do? Your CRM helps you in managing your relationship with both prospective and your customers. So as you do your prospecting, you look for customers that you want to do business with. The CRM module helps you in managing that. So you have things like leads and opportunities. So when you have a lead, it means that, oh, you get all the information about a customer, the name, the contact of the customer, stuff like that, is a lead for the business. Now, every discussion you have with that lead, with the aid of this module, you can easily store those information on the system. You can set your next date of appointment, when you're meant to meet the person, everything that has been discussed So your CRM helps you in managing your relationship with your customer. So you have all those things on your system. And once that lead becomes promising, you can always convert it from a lead to an opportunity. And you can, when the opportunity now becomes business, you can send a quotation and convert that person to a customer on the business. So that is your CRM module. We also have the education module. We also have the healthcare module. So for the education module, basically this helps you in managing businesses that render educational services. So all this captures the different programs the different educational programs that is being run by that institution, the names of the students, the term, the payments, and the likes. So this helps you in managing any business that is engaged into the rendering of services in the education sector. This caters for that. So we'll be looking at the stock module. Now, the stock module, this enables you to manage your inventory. So here you see things like your stock balance. It manages your warehouse. It manages your receiving of inventory and the likes. So basically, your stock module enables you to be able to create items. You create these items, you attach the correct unit of measurement to it. When you buy these items, you use your purchase receipts in managing it. So your stock module, as the name implies, enables you to manage your inventory correctly. So we'll be going to our selling module. Now, what our sales module does is it also enables us to be able to manage our selling process. So you see things like sales order, you see things like sales analytics. This is actually a report. So something like sales order enables you to be able to receive orders from your customers. So let's say you're a business and you have orders coming in from different customers. You can capture all these orders and the system will enable you to manage these orders. So when you have all these services, so each sales order will have a time when it is meant to be matured. So as you have this inventory and as the maturity date for all these orders come through, this model enables you to be able to manage that particular process. Now we have our human resource module. Our human resource module, what our human resource module does is it enables us to manage our human capital for our business. So this is where you have your employees, all the information of your employees. If your employee is going to claim an expense claim, if your employee is going to go on leave, if you are doing appraisal for your employee, if you want to recruitment and staffing and everything you need about human capital management, this module enables you to manage it accurately well. So we also have some other modules on the system. We have payroll, we have manufacturing. Now, for our manufacturing module, the manufacturing module enables us to be able to capture our manufacturing process. So the manufacturing process involves the conversion of raw materials to finished goods and all the processes that involves it, like your BOM. So what a BOM means is a bill of material. What are the processes that is involved in the manufacturing of a finished good item is what is contained in your BOM. So if you want to produce, let's say you want to manufacture a product. Now, what quantity of raw materials do you need in manufacturing that product? And what operations needs to be run for you to be able to manufacture that finished product? That is what is contained in your manufacturing process. So yeah, you'll be able to convert raw materials to finished goods, and you know the cost of producing one finished good material. So this enables you to be able to plan, forecast, and manage your operation, your manufacturing operations. So that is what this module does. We also have our payroll module. So the payroll module is closely linked to your human resource also. So this enables you to be able to accurately fix salary of your employees and also pay them periodically. So when you make payments to your employees, you issue them salary slips. You get the salary slips in their email. So it shows them the breakdown of all the components of their remuneration. So they see their basic salary and their other allowances and the likes. You have your sales, your salary register that shows all the entry, so your salary register lets you know all the people that you've paid salary for a particular period. Okay, so we also have other modules. We have the project module, and we also have the retail module. So what does the project module do? So the project module enables you to be able to manage projects. So every business might, in some cases, have projects that they want to manage. So you see things like tax, you see things like projects, you see things like timesheet. So as you have projects, you'll be able to assign tasks to different persons that are involved in a project. And as the project progresses and as those tasks are being met, the deliverable of the project, the progress of the project will be tracked. So as the different taxes are being accomplished, the project nears its completion period. So this enables you to manage different projects. So a business has, okay, a marketing campaign that they want to run, like a project for, it's going to span from January to February. You create that project, you assign the different tasks to the different people that are meant to be involved in the project, and you follow up. They upload or they send evidences of what they've been able to achieve. And as those tasks have been achieved, those tasks are being checked on the project, and the project progress energy bar gets updated. So once the project energy bar is full, what that means is that project has been completed. So your project model enables you to manage different projects that might come up as you run operations. So the thing about projects is a project will always have a start and an end date. So the last module that we'll be looking at is the retail module. Now, the retail module is actually like a point of sale module. So the system has a point of sale, and as customers come, so if you have like a supermarket setup, or you have a setup that requires the use of a point of sale, the retail module is meant for you. So with the retail module, you can always create the necessary people that you want to be able to use a POS. You can customize your POS profile to be able to do different things. So if you want the user of your POS to be able to use some certain tools, like, okay, you want them to be able to give discounts, you want them to be able to use, so if you don't want them to use a particular bank account, you will not put it on your POS profile. And like, so your retail enables you to be able to manage effectively your point of sale system. Most of all the models I have just mentioned will be explained in greater details in follow-up videos. So with all that been said, this brings us to the end of our first introductory class for the Oyasync ERP software. So thank you very much for listening to or watching our very first video on the Oyasync ERP software. Thank you very much. Bye.